What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Ben Thomas Show. Thanks for coming back. Guys, the Sideshow Beetlejuice is now in my collection, and I'm pretty stoked because I've been doing videos on this figure now. It feels like for at least a couple months. We did the Sideshow and Hot Toys comparison on the channel. We also talked about the updates that the Beetlejuice from Sideshow was showing, and they looked pretty good, but then, you know, you see blogger photos and you see people getting it in hand and the hair is still kind of poofy and you're not sure. Well, now I'm going to get a chance to figure it out myself. So guys, stick around if you like the video, hit the like button, smash the subscribe if you're new to the Ben Thomas Show, and let's get into it.
I give you Ben Thomas Showtime. Here we go.
So without a doubt, this actually is, I think, my favorite box art for any figure I have in my collection. This thing looks exactly like the old VHS movie box, and it's amazing. It's weathered beautifully. This calls back nostalgic punch in the chest like literally no other art box in my collection. Maybe next to my Back to the Future one with Marty McFly on the front. But wow, is this freaking insane. However, as soon as I pull it out, I can see that there's already going to be potentially some issues with this because the head looks loose in the box, which is great because he's got that kind of glued on hairstyle. It's cool to see the bugs on the front though, and honestly on the sides as well. And it does look like a nice little kind of window if it weren't for the fact that my head was rolling around. So let's pull this thing out and take a better look. Clamshell is pretty basic, nothing to write home about by any stretch. And I didn't expect much more from Sideshow. I've got the Crow figure from them, and I enjoyed that unboxing experience overall. This looks rough, honestly. First impression, rough. Not because the figure looks rough, but the presentation. He's dangling out the top. Now, I mean, again, the hair is glued on. It's supposed to be messy. It's Beetlejuice anyways. The paint applications, at least at first inspection, look pretty good, but I'll definitely take a better look once all the plastic is off here at least. The hands look really good. I'm excited to dial in the camera and take a better look at that. The head sculpt does look pretty good. I like the painting on the sides especially, and on the neck. It's a pretty ominous looking neck. Now, again, because the figure was rolling around in the clamshell a little there, he looked like his neck was incredibly long. So I'm excited to get this popped back on, and honestly the fit was a little bit difficult there. He really still looks like he's got an incredibly long neck, and I'm worried I'm seeing a paint issue on the front of the nose there. Now, unfortunately, the head was a little bit difficult to get back into the shirt collar there, so I'd had to take the button down a little bit on the collar, as well as opening the tie up a little bit so that it could slot the head sculpt back in, and then of course tightening the tie. I did tuck the tie in the shirt, and I'll show you guys that in a minute, but overall the suit and the body is pretty stiff. There's no split cut, so I'm not worried about him falling over, at least on his ankles. And notoriously, Sideshow doesn't always have the best bodies in their figures, but this feels pretty sturdy. I will definitely give it that. I'm going to let him stand by himself without a stand later. You can see here, this is where I tucked the tie into the shirt there a little bit, and futzed the jacket on the shoulders as well. And then I decided I'd get the hair wet a little bit. All I did was run water through my fingers and just ran it through the hair a little bit here and kind of tweaked at it a little bit and just played with it. Now, his hair is notoriously really greasy and kind of thin. I will say the hair here is still too thick in my opinion, but he kind of looks a little bit like a porcupine at times from the side, which I think again is a little too much volume, but at the same time, I think you can make it kind of greasy. I may even actually take a little bit of my own hair gel and put it in there a little bit, which is kind of like a waxy gel, just a tad, to greasen it up a little bit and make it look nasty. The base here is pretty normal, but this was the missed opportunity. It should have come with a cool gravestone or something more iconic to the film. Huge missed opportunity there. These hands, though, are spectacular from Sideshow. I have to give them crazy credit. Look at the fingernails, the weathering, the veining in the hand is like really freaking gnarly. These fingernails are like hanging on by a thread. Like, trigger warning if this stuff grosses you out, I apologize. But like, it looks pretty friggin' awesome, guys. I gotta admit, I'm impressed with Sideshow's hands for this, and the paint apps, all of it look really cool. Even the rings that he's got on, the little nail file that he's holding, and a pretty broad selection. I also love that Sideshow gives us wrist pegs in every hand. It's such a game changer. It's so much easier to just swap them in and out for different poses. Bravo, I love these. I wish Hot Toys would do the same. The book is a little on the cheap side. I got to admit, I was a little disappointed by this accessory. It doesn't open up at all. It's a solid piece of like little plastic, and the cover on the outside is a very, very thin paper, and I've already noticed a little bit of indentation on the sides where I've put it into a hand sculpt, which is kind of shitty. And as you can see, it's not going to be the biggest game changer, but I think if you want to have it displayed with the figure, that's where this figure comes to life, to be honest. He's got some padding in and around his belly, which honestly, depending on the kind of angle that you tilt his spine on, it pops out like a big belly on him, and I love that. That's awesome. At certain angles, once again, I think that the hair looks a little aggressive, and I do see the chip on the nose. Unfortunately, it looks like it came out of the box that way, which is a bummer, because some of these close-up shots that I'm going to show you, from me, that's all I can see. But at the same time, it doesn't take away from my feeling of this being Beetlejuice, especially from the first film. It looks like Michael Keaton in that Beetlejuice gnarly makeup, and I freaking love that. The teeth, you can see like the blackness in the gums there. The kind of mossiness that he has on the side of his head and the texture in there is wild. It does look like his hair is glued on. That is something that I really dislike. But the body and the outfit itself, while it's not tailored the best, I also see this guy as being somebody who's been dead for a really long time. So his suit's gonna look like crap. And I think all of the paint apps and all of the weathering are spot on here. This guy is way dirtier in hand than I expected, especially from when we first saw the solicitation of this character. He looked too clean in my opinion, and he doesn't look clean in person. I love that. His posability isn't the greatest in the suit though, because of that fat suit underneath. He has a really hard time sitting down. I've got this chair from my Joker figure, I believe, and I thought it would be funny to see him sitting, and it doesn't look good. I tried even putting his kind of leg up on the chair, and that didn't really work either, and so I'm gonna give up on that. I think unfortunately Beetlejuice really for me will just be kind of standing there, which again is such a disappointment that it didn't come then with a cooler figure base of some sort, something I would have desired to pay a little more for if it was good. But this figure was already a little on the expensive side as well, and I know a lot of people were comparing this to the Hot Toys version for Beetlejuice that's coming to most of your collections. What do you guys think about this figure now that you're seeing it, you know, in my hands and kind of getting my thoughts on it? Does it change anything for you? Is it about the same kind of level of quality that you'd expect from Sideshow? To be honest, for some of the tailoring challenges that I've had, for the presentation, the head sculpt rolling around in the box kind of sucked a little bit. The chip on the nose is unfortunate, a little bit of QC, but again, it could have even happened in transport or with the head sculpt rolling around. There's some things that I don't love about it. It doesn't feel like it should be as expensive of a figure as it is, but at the end of the day, this really does feel like Beetlejuice from the first film in my collection. And as you can see here, just kind of on display, when you can see it just up in the collection lights, I think it looks amazing. I love it. So I'm glad I got it. I wanted to give you guys my thoughts. Let me know your comments down below. If you guys liked the video, hit the like button, smash the subscribe. If you're new to the Ben Thomas Show, I'm going to be gone away to a work conference all week this week, guys. So if any cool new news comes up, you'll hear from me next week after the 27th. But guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guese on the next video.
Wow, what a great audience. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Because subscribing makes you feel good.
Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
It's gone. It's all gone.